So hello, welcome back. Welcome to the Tradeciety YouTube channel. Finally, new videos, and today I have a very special video for you with one of the most effective ways of, well, it's just a simple way of analyzing price charts, but it will completely transform the way you look at charts and the way you understand price. And the only thing that in this video, what we will pay attention to is highs and lows. Well, obviously the other way, this is a high, this is a low, and we are going to look at how do highs and lows shape on your price chart and what can we understand with by just looking at those two simple concepts. Does the price make higher highs and higher lows? Does it make lower lows and lower highs? Are the powers shifting? And what is going on in price action? So let's follow the price action here a little bit. This is the trading view replay function, and we can see what is happening here. So let's just draw a few lines and levels. And by the way, this is the foundation of how I mostly trade. And if you want to know more about this, check the course, which is in the description below this video as well. But if you don't, then just try to understand and master those principles. So here are the last important swing highs and lows. You can see we marked the low here. The price has been making higher lows ever since here, and even here we started this uptrending wave. Very important. Here we came to an end. For now, the price made a new low point, but afterwards it completely turned around again. If we break this high here, then the uptrend will be resumed. Until then, we are more or less in it's kind of a sideways range, but now we have tendencies of a new uptrending phase. So if we break this high here, then the intermediate trend will be started or continued. If we break this here, then the higher uptrend will be continued as well. So let's see what we do here, and you can see the market is back at the previous resistance, which is a good bullish signal. However, it's not a complete confirmation. We need to see a break above this level, obviously. So let's see what happens. We see some reactions around the level, which is normal. It's a very important resistance, and you don't always see an immediate breakout. You can see we have some back and forth, which is the natural rhythm of price. But as long as this low holds, we are more leaning towards a bullish sentiment than a bearish sentiment. And now you can see we're breaking above the high. We're seeing some retest patterns, a very strong retest rejection, kind of an inside pin bar, which is also turning out to be an engulfing bar, completely engulfs the previous candle. And you can see that. So now, as long as the new low holds, we are still technically in an uptrend. The new low is here. We made a higher low. Let's follow the price action and see what is happening here. You can see we are now at this high. We can probably expect at least some reaction here. This has been an important high. It will be used for stop loss placement as well. Some people who got in after the double bottom will have their target here. So this is probably going to cause a few reactions here. Let's see what is happening. We're moving forward. Okay, so this was a little bit fast on TradingView, but you can see here we broke through it. It probably caught all the stops here and triggered a lot of pending orders, so this accelerated a move to the upside. We are now in a continued the bullish trend resumed here, as I indicated here previously. This was already foreshadowed here by the higher lows, so clear signal here to the upside. And now you can see, let's zoom out and see where we are in the bigger picture. We are moving into a previous area of support and resistance, so this seems to be quite an important area. We have some touches here, we have a little bit of a break and retest. So let's see what happens here. You can see we are in the replay mode. We see here now some break and retest function. Of course, now you can expect some movement here. We haven't established any real new low yet, so ever since this breakout we haven't really made a new retracement. So it will be interesting to see how deep will the price retrace. That is going to be quite an interesting tell about the market structure. And in this case, we did not retrace a whole lot, and we found immediate support at the previous at this area that we identified here. So you can see the market really pays attention to those break and retest areas. They're very, very important to know about. You can see that we're struggling a little bit, but that's okay. We're moving higher and higher, it seems like. And now we are having a little bit of a retracement, but this is very important. This is here, you can see it's not really that threatening in the overall tech market context. We have a very long bullish uptrending phase, and now we have a little bit of a retracement. You can see we seem to be finding support here at the previous low, and the market is rallying higher. You can see that very clearly. Trying to make an upside reversal, or not a reversal, a continuation. Let's take this off, redraw our levels. Always keep your charts updated. So here we have now a new high. Here we have our last low. So as long as we don't fall back below this low, we are still technically in an uptrend. And you can see we break above that. It seems that we are starting a new uptrending leg, an uptrending phase. We are establishing maybe here a new area of support, which should hold during an uptrend. Here's the deeper retracement that we don't really want to see broken on the way down during retracement. Let's see if we can, where we find support actually. Now we have a little bit of a more of a bearish phase. See where the bulls step in. The bulls seem to be defending the lows here, which is a very important point, and this looks like a stronger bearish shift. So right now this is here where you slowly start shifting more from a bullish oriented market to now we can clearly see signs that the bears are coming in. We have a first sign that here now we seem to be making a new low. We also seem to be breaking or a lower high, and now we are also look like the price is making a lower low, and now you can clearly see we're breaking below the previous low. If this low now fails, and if we break below this area, then the new uptrend is really initiated. If it doesn't, if it holds, and if we move to the upside, or if this level holds, then we can very safely assume that we are probably going to see another uptrending leg. So let's see how this level is being defended or not. A little bit of a pause, very normal in this overall context. You can see that this has been always an important area, and you can see we're turning around immediately. We're finding support. So as long as this level holds, the bulls are still in control here. This is for now our level, and you can see we are probably, you can see we move back to the area of the highs, where we are seeing now some rejection and reactions for now. And we are back smack on to the previous high, and we're seeing the breakout. So very, very important lesson here. As long as the market is defending its support structures during an uptrend, you are still technically in an uptrend. It's very important that you not start to call a top before it happens. Many people will already start getting into a short mindset before such an important level is broken. But as long as lows and highs hold during a trending market, the direction is not changed. Now we're seeing some type of rejection, but it's not really, you can see it wasn't a very, very strong rejection. We haven't had a close that is really showing us some bearish momentum. So this is something that we will cover in my course as well, why those wicks are actually not always rejection patterns. You can see that we see a follow through. We covered the wicks immediately. And now we have a new base level here. If this level holds, then we probably can expect more bullishness. If this level fails, then we might see more bearishness coming. But remember, this is still for now our main support level. We haven't established another low after this area here. So the market has not really shown us a new base here during the uptrend. Let's see, we seem to be finding some support here. So if this really rounds off here, then we would establish a new low. Let's see if this really holds or if we fall back below this. You can see that it seems like the market is really trying to defend the level, and those break and retest patterns, they happen often and very, they're very common. You can see that we're building a little bit of a range market. So at this point, it's an indecision market. You can see that very clearly. The market is not really, or neither side is really ready to commit yet. you need to wait for the market to really establish a clear direction. First, we need to see a breakout for a bullish scenario. We want to see a real breakout above the highs. If you're looking for a quick short, you might be able to trade this one if the market breaks lower here below this support. Let's see what happens. And you can see we are initiating here a little bit of a short scenario. Let's see actually if there will be new sellers in the market or if the market just turns around. So at this point, this is very critical. What is going to happen here? There are two options, obviously. Either we see this is then going to be a break, retest and follow through, or we see a failed breakout to the downside and we will see a continuation to the upside. If the level fails and if the market makes a push above this level, then there's a good chance we will see a follow through, because then this area here, this shows a failed bearish breakout. So if the market makes its way above 162.1, which you cannot see probably, so above this level here, then there's a good chance we will make a follow through, because the bearish attempt here, the bearish breakout, has failed. And again, we are only looking at highs and lows. That's the only thing we are doing here. There's nothing extra added. And you can see, so the bearish attempt has failed. We are back at the range, and now this level here is the likely next target. We're seeing some bullish momentum, not too much yet. You can see we're back at the top range, and yes, we broke above the range, so we are back here at the highs. The bearish breakout was defended here very, very successfully. And when we take it all off, and we can see clearer, when we just look at what is happening here, we have established now a new low for the first time, or well, first time in a while. So you can see that the price moved from here to here. Then we had a new low here. We made another leg. We pushed here. And we have a new uptrending structure. So as long as this low holds, we are in a bullish market. If the market breaks lower, then we have a bearish market. But as long as the market is still here above the highs, we are clearly in an uptrend. You can see that we see some retracements, which is normal. And you can see here, boom, we are back at the highs. We have another wick, and this time we have a very, very huge wick. So put everything into context. You can see, looking back, we haven't had such a long candle in, well, in months and months and months, hundreds and hundreds of candles. So this is really something very, very extraordinary. Something has happened here that we really need to be aware of and really need to pay attention to. So you probably want to be very, very careful with initiating new long positions. A short position would be initiated if we break below this low. So this is what I would be focusing on right now. You can see after we broke the highs, we shifted towards a bullish sentiment. We found a retracement, but we made a higher low. And then, as I mentioned, we saw the follow through here because the lows held. We break above the high, and then that's what you get. But right now, I would be really looking for a potential short if the market really breaks through this to the downside. So let's see what happens. Fasting forward a little bit, see what we get. And you can see we are starting here. We are not able to cover the wick, so that is a very, very important point here. This then feels like a very strong rejection, very different from what has happened here. Let's see, and now it feels very, very bearish. You can see that we're seeing some recovery attempts here to the upside, but they also fail. Let's see, and you can see the bearish candles are becoming larger and larger. Now this is a critical moment because we are seeing the first time ever since we started really, probably since here, that we started this new uptrending leg, that we are changing the trend structure. So the first time that we are actually breaking into a new low, the first time that the market has ever made a lower low is happening at this moment. So let's see what happens. This is really now the signal that yes, that you are getting into a short market and things can move very, very quickly. So we're breaking lows and lows. Very, very bearish scenario. Let's see if we get a retest. This would look like something like this. Let's see. Can we get back into the level? Looks like it. and that is now where we are in the current situation. So let's see what this brings. We have made a very good analysis, I think, so far. Very interesting development. So obviously as always, there are two choices what could happen, but that's how trading works. You need to be prepared for both the long and the short side. If we break lower, then the downtrend will be continued. We are now in a bearish looking market because, well, we broke this low. We are trying to break this low, but as we saw here previously, where was it? It was here where we tried to make a breakout attempt to the downside. It failed. Then we saw recovery. So if this breakout attempt fails to the downside, there's a good chance we will see a push to the upside. The downside looks a little bit stronger though. So if the market really is able to start or continue the downtrend, then there's a good chance that we will see a big move further into the lows in this area. And that is how you can start analyzing any chart on any time frame, any market. Just look at the highs and lows. Of course, this is not really now enough to build a complete trading system. You need to add more confirmation factors. You need to know where do you time your entries, how do you get into trades. But this is a very, very solid foundation.